in Sports with your host, Ryan Woods.
Strap yourself in
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's Brockville Braves U18 player interview brought to you by Trending in Sports. I'm your host, Ryan Woods, and joining me today is goaltender for the U18 Brockville Braves, Zach MacDonald. How's it going, Zach?
I'm great, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I've got some questions for you, and I'm excited to learn a little bit about your influence as a goaltender. So the first question I have for you is, what made you decide to strap on the pads and get between the pipes in the first place?
Well, I mean, obviously it was a mixture of things. I feel like when you're making a decision, and especially late in my life, I was around 11 or 12. I was going into my first year at Pee Wee when I decided to. Well, I guess it's U13 or U12 now, but it was Pee Wee at the time, and I decided to make the switch. A couple things. I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan. And from the second I started watching them carry Price, he was always kind of the star, and I liked how much. Not so much attention, but how much kind of like praise he was getting, and how he had such a big influence on the team, and how he would be the decider of whether they would win games or not. I mean, another part of it is that I wasn't great as a player, but that part's a little less so.
We all have our own detriments, but it seems as if you made the right decision because you've had a lot of impressive performances in net this season. And you mentioned Montreal, and this year they've got Carey Price and Jake Gallen, which is a pretty solid goaltending tandem. And you've also got Dustin Riff to swap games with. What's it been like playing with Riffer and having another solid goaltender that you get to share the net with?
I mean, it's fantastic, right? Like going into this year, I kind of knew that this would be a big opportunity for me, and that. Well, I had talked with Coach early on, and he said that this will be a big chance for me to get a lot of showcasing and really put myself out there. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of pressure, and having another great goalie who's also he has the same sort of mindset as I do, where every game matters, and we want to win games for our team. It's amazing. It gives me a chance to kind of recuperate and rest after big games.
Goalies have a bit of a reputation for being outcasts. Would you consider yourself to fall in under that stereotype at all?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think that I'm too much different than the other guys. I mean, I'm of course a little bit quieter. We don't really have a lot in common, but I've always been kind of a team first type of person and type of player. So. I'm a big believer in kind of getting the guys going in every way I can. So I wouldn't necessarily call myself an outcast, but we definitely have our differences for sure.
There's been a lot of differences this season. It's been unlike any that you've ever played in before. What's been the biggest difference for you adjusting to playing hockey and life with COVID?
Definitely the uncertainty of things. So this is the first year where we got thrown in really quickly out of nothing, right? So it's kind of I needed to learn to get into that mindset where every single little detail matters. You can't really afford to have a bad game because you don't really know if it's going to be your last. And with on and off closures for the past year now, it's really given me a lot of perspective, and it's really in my opinion, I think it's bettered my self-awareness when it comes to preparation and what it takes to be elite.
But when we were setting up the interviews, you reached out to me to say that you appreciated the broadcasts that we were doing because it helped get the atmosphere from the arena to your family and friends who were listening or watching from home. How much different has it been for you guys to have to play the games without having as many supporters as you would normally have at the arena?
I mean, in a way, it's kind of helped because I found that I've been able to reach out to more people to kind of get them to watch me. I've never really been the type to really worry about that stuff, like who's in the crowd or how many people are in the crowd. I've always kind of just been focused on my own thing. But like you said, with you guys making this a lot more accessible and doing such a great job at it, I've been able to reach out to people, and a couple of people have asked me to watch the games, right? So it's nice being able to tell them that they can and give them away, and also kind of know that I'm playing for them too. I'm playing to show myself and show what I what I do, right? Like how I spend most of my time. So it's really nice there. I mean, it's different not having as many people. The rinks are a lot quieter. I can't have people that normally come, like my grandparents and things like that. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair trade off, and there are definitely some good things and some negative things as well.
Well put. So now we're moving on to a segment that I created called the Game Day Five. So I'll ask you about five game day related questions. The first one is pre-game nap. Are you a fan or not a fan?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on the time of it depends on the time of the game. If the game's later at night, say 8 or 9 o'clock, I'll probably have a nap around 3 or 4. Sleep is something that's really important to me. I like to always get a good night's sleep, right? Obviously, right before the game, so that all my emotions and my senses are all in tune. But if the game, I prefer earlier games, so I don't really have to take that because I've never been much of a napper. But I mean, I guess it comes down to doing whatever it takes.
What's your go-to pre-game meal?
Definitely some spaghetti and meatballs. I like chicken meatballs though, not the beef ones. Yeah, I always make sure to make a nice big bowl of spaghetti and get some marinara sauce and some meatballs in there. I don't know. It's been something I've been doing for a couple years now. I guess the first time I tried it, I played really well, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this should be our go-to from now on.
It's funny how you try things once and maybe you get a shutout or a big win and then it just sticks with you.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take much.
Do you have any pre-game rituals or superstitions?
Well, I'm a pretty superstitious guy. I mean, I've got a bunch of super tiny little games. Like I always try and play. I have a NHL 14 on the Xbox 360, and no matter what, I play one, like just one game of that. So that's kind of my weirdest one. Other than that, my rituals are I like to take my dog for a walk in the morning, just to get the blood flowing. Nothing too big, but just tell your body to wake up. You got a game to worry about soon. I'm a big believer in kind of getting your like hand-eye senses ready. So I have a bunch of hand-eye drills that I can do at home with balls, and I have a ball attached to a string, which is cool. Like I throw it down the hallway and it comes back. I usually do 30 or 40 minutes of yoga and then another 20 of like goalie specific stretching. And then to top it off right before I leave. Well, I mean, I used to do this part in the rink, but now that we can't get to the rink that early, I do it at home. But I have a series of dynamic warm ups that I do. So, just little runs and things like that to really get the blood moving. And I also like to listen to music and roll out. To I find it tells my body and my brain that it's time to go, it's time to perform, and I like to get the nerves going. I don't know why, but I've always felt like being nervous has kind of helped me a little bit. So when I do all this stuff, it definitely tells me, all right, it's time to go here, and gets everything moving for sure.
That's good. It brings me to the fourth question is what's your go-to pre-game playlist? Do you have any artists or song that get you pumped up the most?
Oh man, I like rap a lot, but I also like a bunch of old rock. My parents kind of introduced me to that, like Queen and Tragically Hip. Um, I like the Migos, the rap band. I like Future and Drake. Drake is definitely my all time favorite. I've got like 8 of his songs on my 15 song long playlist.
Awesome. And finally, do you have any after a huge win, what's your go-to celebration routine?
Oh, celebration routine. It's definitely more social than a thing that gets kind of put in place. I ride home where my dad takes me to every game, so the ride home after a big win or after I played really well is always super nice. He's a very tell it as it is type of person. So if you play well, then you get a lot of good feedback, and if you don't, then you hear it a little bit. But he's always been my number one supporter, so it means the world to be able to kind of feel like you made them proud and enjoy that ride home. Other than that, I like to tell my friends. My mom, this year especially because there's only been like one supporter in the rink. I get to come home and tell her about it, and she's always super excited to see me. So um, yeah, there's not really much that I like do physically. Like there's not really so much of a routine, but there's definitely a lot of social interaction and a lot of people that I can tell. And when they give me feedback or they say that they were watching and stuff, it feels really, really good.
That's nice. I've got a few more fun questions before I'll let you go. You mentioned earlier Montreal, your favorite team, and Carey Price being one of your favorite goaltenders. Uh, do you have put a focus point on the fashion that comes with being a goaltender? Do you always have to have pads that match the colors of your team uniforms, or do you just sort of go with whatever fits?
I mean, I go with whatever fits. I don't like to be too flashy because I think that with being a goalie and all this history and creativity that comes with painting your mask, and then now with the digital print stuff and all the future or all the futuristic kind of combinations that you can make and designs. I don't know. I've always liked to keep it a little simple. The pads I'm wearing right now, my blocker and trapper are black, white, and red, and then my pads are just black and white, and that's for a reason. Is because I've never liked to keep my pads too cluttered. I've always had white and black pads, and I don't know. I just feel like it actually, I couldn't even really tell you, honestly. The shooter looks up for maybe a split second, maybe they'll just see the white and shooter.
Do you
It's
have
little
any
tips like that that
favorite
I tell myself all the time.
designs or goalie masks in the NHL right now?
Carey Price's the half robot, half human one. That one's filthy. That one's so nice. The one with the he's got the cyborg chip and how it has all the the like Montreal legends like Roy and Plant. That one's really, really nice. And other than that, um, I don't know. I liked Elvis Merzlikins, his Columbus, his setup, his like the pads that he went with, and how he got them completely digital printed. Those were nice. I'm excited for when I get into juniors or maybe even higher than that, when I get to kind of get gear and try it out so that I can really um, get the creative juices flowing in that sense and really express myself that way.
Awesome. And finally, if you had to pick a highlight, whether it be one game or a highlight reel save that comes to mind, what's been one of the most memorable highlights for your playing career?
Oh man, this is, yeah, for sure. This one's dates back to right before I moved to Ottawa a couple of years ago. We were playing. Well, I used to play in Halifax. I used to play like Rep A, not house league, but like Rep A, and we were really good that year. We lost like two games all year. We were just the power team. Like we didn't even really belong in that league. Except we had a little bit of trouble in the playoffs. So I remember it was the second round of the playoffs. Um, the series was tied at three apiece. So game seven. It was tied with a minute left in the third period. That's probably the most nervous I've ever been. I can't even lie. That was a scary moment, just having all that pressure on yourself. But I remember there was 10 seconds left. The other team comes down in a rush and they beat our guys, so they have a 2-on-0. They do like a couple passes. I move really, really well and follow them, and then they make one last pass, and I had to dive over and I get it with my chest and catch it as the puck was falling off of me. And then as soon as I caught the puck, the buzzer went, and then we ended up winning in overtime. So that one was probably one of the most intense and the most exciting moments I've ever felt. I remember how happy everybody was, and I felt like I really contributed a lot.
That's a great save to consider for your career highlight. So a great story to cap
Yeah.
things off today. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me, and best of luck with the rest of the season, Zach.
No, thank you very much, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
And now I know